If you want to show us some love, donate at rubydaytv.com, the home of all my exclusives. And don't forget to leave the show a rating or a review. Welcome to Love Shot. I'm Ruby.
I'm Olivia.
And this is a really exciting topic today.
Yeah.
I have been thinking about it all week. And it's because, yes, I have. And it's totally because my little imagination has been completely running. And I have been fantasizing about, well, one of my partner's friends. I know
Oh my God.
that may be so taboo, but
You're
I
fantasizing
can't.
about one of your partner's
Oh, God,
friends?
yes.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
fucking hot. Are
Wow.
you kidding me?
Wow.
Absolutely. Actually, ever since the first day I met him, like over 20 years ago, I immediately knew I was going to fuck this guy.
Oh my God.
But it was my partner's childhood best friend.
Oh my God. Wow.
So it made it even more sticky.
I bet.
And I've hung out with him. The three of us have hung out. And every time I have to bite my tongue, sit on my hands, and make sure my pants are buttoned because I can't help but just want to jump his bones. I'm
Yeah,
serious.
yeah. Oh my goodness.
So this is what I've been thinking about all week.
Oh my
Crazy,
goodness.
crazy.
Does your partner know?
Actually, yes.
Oh.
Believe it or not,
Wow.
I have said something to them. I don't know if that was totally kosher. They took it really well.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, it brings up the question, are your partner's friends fair game to fuck?
Yeah.
Are
yeah.
they?
Well, I've done it. I've done it myself. Yeah.
Oh, you have? Was it
Yeah.
okay with your partner, or was it something
Yeah.
that was like on the shady down low?
No. Actually, my partner was totally super cool with it. It was
That's awesome.
They were so laid back. It was almost like, "Are you sure this is?" I thought I was being like, "Is this really okay?" And they're like, "Oh no, it's totally fine."
So
Yeah.
you were the one that was more concerned and nervous about actually
Yeah.
fucking your partner's friend.
I was, yes.
And see, I wasn't.
I can see that about you.
I was total jump in with both feet.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking want that.
Oh wow.
And so it's not that I really heavily pursued it,
Yeah.
but this particular individual, this guy, he and I would constantly flirt back and forth, even in front
Yeah.
of his friend and
Oh,
my
goodness.
partner. And it was just casual banter, just kind of teasing each other, kind of working each other
Yeah.
up, but we never, ever, ever crossed that line because, well, it was just out of respect for the situation.
But the buildup, I bet that created a lot of buildup.
Oh, it was
before
fantastic.
Because you
It
finally
was
did it, right?
totally fantastic.
Did you finally do this?
I actually, while the banter was going on, I enjoy the banter.
Yeah.
That's foreplay to me.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't ever, develop into actual full fucking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just
Yeah.
like that flirtatious banter, but I'm a huge flirt, whether I intend to or not. So for me, that banter was amazing. And I think it got him pretty worked up too, because finally I talked to my partner about it and they were like,
Yeah.
it was almost a fantasy for them that I didn't realize that.
Oh, for your partner.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That they shared one of their friends with whoever they were in
Yeah.
a relationship with.
Yeah.
And I'd never had that kind of situation. I was actually surprised because I figured my partner was just going to be like, not cool. This is my childhood best friend,
wow.
and there's no
Yeah.
way this is happening.
I think most people would think that, most situations. Leave it to Ruby to
And
have
I mean,
one to-
it took years. It took
Yeah.
10 years before it actually happened.
Oh, wow.
I know. 10
Wow.
years of sexual buildup and banter. I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
when the event actually took place and we actually fucked, I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Oh, my God.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Probably partly because of the 10-year buildup.
Yeah.
But
I
and that
bet.
anticipation, and that sexual just kind of
Oh, wow. The
working
tension.
yourself up.
The tension about it. Yeah.
And he lived out of town at the time, and he came down for a visit to stay with us. And
Wow.
here's how it all went down.
Oh, yes.
So,
I want to hear the dirty details. Oh, goodness.
so he came down for a visit, and we were really hot and heavy, flirting back and forth and back and forth, just having a gay old time. I was walking around the house totally butt naked while he visited. Not for
Oh,
any.
wow.
I'm a nudist,
Yeah.
so
So you
wasn't.
just walking around
well,
naked.
it was my house,
Yeah.
so I just went about my day and my time the way it was.
Okay.
I'd walk out of the shower without anything on,
Was that
no
the-
towel wrapped around me,
Right.
nothing.
It's your spouse, right? Your
Well,
spouse.
yeah, it's my spouse now.
Was that the first
but
time that your spouse and his best friend saw you naked together, that they were there?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to
Did
think
it
about
take
that
10 years
one.
is what I'm saying? Or did you
Oh
like-
no, like I said, I'm a nudist, so
Yeah.
it
Oh, so
wasn't
this-
uncommon
this
for
best
me
friend
to
of your
be.
partner has seen you naked like long
Oh
before.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, my
Actually,
gosh,
I tutored
yeah.
him in algebra nude. To be honest with
Okay,
you,
naked tutoring, right?
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
American
it was
Pie. I
just
think
it
that's one
was
on American
really
Pie.
fucking hot.
Yeah.
And hot out. I mean, it was a really hot summer. He
Yeah.
needed some help with algebra. I'm fairly good at algebra and picked it up
Yeah.
quick. So I was like, hey, bring your textbook over. I said, I'll see if I can help you out.
Yeah.
So he showed up. We got a little bit sidetracked. I'll go back to that fucking story here in a minute. So he shows up at the
goodness.
door.
Yeah.
And it's in the afternoon. I'm butt naked because, like I said, it is fucking hot out.
Wow. Yeah.
The apartment was hot, and I was like, I am not wearing clothes. This is not happening. So he shows up, knocks on the door. I answered the door naked, and
Yeah.
I thought this
Oh my
was the
goodness.
first time he'd seen me naked. I thought he was going to lose it.
You just answered the door.
I just
Oh,
answered the
Lord.
door butt naked.
Oh, God. Oh,
Completely.
wow.
Well,
I would have loved to see his face.
I knew he was the only one who was coming by that day.
yeah.
So it
Now,
just
was your spouse
it wasn't
around?
No, he was. My spouse was
Oh, he
around
was
at
around
that
too.
time.
Yeah.
It wasn't my spouse.
Right.
We were just seeing each other in
Oh,
a
okay.
committed
Yeah.
relationship at that time.
Yeah.
So no, he's home, and he's in the other room. I answer the door, and his friend's face, his jaw just dropped open. He was like, is he home?
Oh, my
and,
goodness.
And
How
I
do you-
went, yeah,
My
yeah,
jaw
yeah.
would drop if I opened the door and saw you butt naked. I swear.
Well,
That'd be-
naked
oh, my goodness.
tutoring. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Who wouldn't love that?
Oh, my goodness.
But that wasn't
Yeah.
the point. I was
Yeah.
doing it. I was just being myself
Mm-hmm.
and being my nudist self. And I said, yeah, he's home. And he's like looking around the corner,
Yeah.
looking to see where he's at before he even walked in the door.
Yeah.
And I said, he's in the bedroom. He'll be out in a little bit. I said, come on in. So he very timidly walks through the door and like stands 5 feet away from me the whole time. It was fucking funny.
Oh, I bet he was
And-
nervous.
Oh,
my
he was
gosh.
totally nervous. You could tell he was trying not to blush. He's
Yeah.
holding his textbook like some little kid
Oh, my
who
God.
doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
I bet that was
So-
fun, too. I bet that was
well-
fun. Like, that was power play there.
No,
Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
just that nonchalant with nudity. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always been that way. I figured if
Oh,
I was supposed to
and
wear clothes, I would have been born with them.
Yeah.
That's kind of my philosophy.
So were you teasing him during his naked algebra
No,
class?
I was totally business. I was totally math business.
Okay.
So
I
I
don't know how he
walked.
could think.
I didn't.
my
Well, I
goodness.
found that out later. He was
Yeah.
like, I didn't learn a damn fucking thing.
Bet not.
It was so hilarious.
Oh.
I didn't find that out
Yeah.
until later.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, well, did you pass your test? He goes, yeah, I'd say you learned something then.
There. Yeah.
So anyway, so I walk into the kitchen. I'm talking to him. I said, come on, sit down at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
I said, can I get you anything to drink? He goes, no, I'm good. Kind of croaks out of his voice. Because you could tell he was just almost sweating bullets.
So you're telling me this.
So that's the first time
early
he
on.
saw me naked.
And how many years ago from the point was that to the point you actually hooked up with him?
8 or so years.
So that was like 8 years prior. He saw
Yeah,
you naked,
yeah.
and you teased him. And I take it he saw you.
Well, no,
he saw you naked more.
I
over the
wasn't
years?
intending to tease him. Like I said, I'm just a nudist.
Okay, just the
so
nudist.
I have this rule in my house: if you don't want to
Right.
see me naked,
Yeah.
then don't come over.
Right. Yeah.
Because you just never
Yeah.
know with me.
She had to warn me
I-
about that when I first came over, and good reason why.
I
but
have
yeah,
a
I'm okay
naked
with that.
house.
Yeah.
I have a naked house. My friends all
Yeah.
know if they're comfortable, you can leave your clothes at the door. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to see me naked, then just don't come over because
Right.
I never know if I'm going to have clothes on or
Yeah.
not.
I never know if you're gonna have clothes on or not when I show up too.
I
I
know.
hear you.
Eventually, when we get ready to go out, I
Yeah.
do put clothes on.
Yes,
But
yes.
I put them on at the very last minute.
Okay, so take us back to the sex story. Oh my goodness.
So that's 8 years prior.
Yeah.
So he had seen me naked prior
Okay.
to this whole
Makes sense with the buildup.
rendezvous going on.
A lot of buildup. A lot of buildup.
Lots of
Oh my
flirting,
God, this boy
lots
was
of
gonna
sexual
explode.
banter. How he did not.
Oh my
I
God.
always wanted to ask him how many times he masturbated over
Yeah.
that time.
Oh my God. that'd be- yeah.
Fantasizing about it.
Oh,
fantasizing
does that just blow
about
up
me.
your head?
Oh,
my
I think
goodness.
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Yeah, I think it's hot.
What?
I think it's hot to know a guy's masturbating about you.
Well, I was
think
gonna
that's
say,
hot. I don't know why.
what in some ways,
Yeah.
what better compliment than
Yeah.
to know that your image or the person that you are
Yeah.
actually stimulates somebody to the point that they get release
Yeah.
when they normally wouldn't. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, and I actually,
Yeah,
with
I
some
agree, yeah.
people, I think it's kind of hot.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I've had some hot
Yeah.
rendezvous with that myself, knowing
So,
about it.
he'd come down for a visit. He was staying over for,
Yeah.
3 days, I think. It was a real short trip. And we had been bantering back and forth. I mean, heavy. And I could tell he'd just gotten out of a relationship.
Oh, boy.
It had been months
Yeah.
since he'd had any release. And I'm like, oh, this is just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So I checked with my partner, my spouse, and I checked to make sure, like, are you sure you're okay with this?
Yeah,
Because
right,
it's not
yeah.
a line I wanted to cross if it was
Yeah.
going to cause problems.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't worth it. And then he was like, no, it's cool. I think it's actually, a really great
Right,
thing,
yeah.
if he's up for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I get his bed all made, him
Right.
situated, and asked if he needed anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of stood there and looked at him. And he sheepishly was like, no, I think I'm okay. So I go to bed, crawl into bed, and all of a sudden I hear from the other room,
Yeah.
I hear him holler if we have any aspirin. And I said, yeah, I can get you some aspirin.
Yeah.
So I go and grab it out of the bathroom and walk in to where he's sleeping. And he said, I've got some swelling and I thought maybe it would help. And I said, yeah, I gave him 2 aspirin.
Yeah.
Not even dawning on me.
Yeah.
I was so dense.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Anyway, not even dawning on me that he was literally talking about his cock having swelling.
Oh, my, yeah.
And he needed the pressure relieved.
Oh, Mr. Slick.
And I went back to
Okay.
bed,
Yeah.
and my spouse at the time, nudged me. He goes, I think he's meaning the other kind of swelling. And I was like, really?
he had to
I mean,
clue
I
you
was
in?
dense. I'm telling you, I was just so dense about because
Oh my
it had
God.
never gone any further
Yeah.
than just the banter.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to assume.
Yeah.
So my spouse was like, no, the other kind of swelling. He was like, go in there and fuck him.
Oh, so he was like encouraging
Yeah,
you.
he
Oh my
was
God,
like,
that's so awesome.
Go in and fuck
Yeah.
him. And I was like, really?
That's so awesome.
Are you sure? I mean, I'm getting kind
yeah.
of giddy because, like I
Right.
said,
Yeah.
the first day I ever met this guy,
Yeah.
like I knew I was going to fuck him. I just knew it was going to happen. There was just that chemistry and that
Oh,
sexual
yeah.
tension between us.
Yeah.
So I go back in the other room and I said, how you feeling? Do you still have some swelling? And he goes, yeah, I do. So I pulled
you
back
do.
the covers. And I don't wear anything to bed. I sleep naked.
Yeah.
So I pulled back the covers from on top of him and I crawled on top of him, straddled him,
Oh my God.
pulled out his cock, and just sat right down
Oh
on
my
it.
God. That is so hot.
And we
That's a hot
fucked
Wow.
for like 30 minutes, 45. It may have been an hour. Honestly, I lost track of
Oh
time.
my gosh.
Because my mind was just like on a high drive. And I have to tell you, it's one of the best fucks I've ever had.
Oh wow. The
To
psychological
this
part of it is
day, it
mind
was
blowing. Yeah.
off the chart.
Yeah.
So he and I, we stayed in bed and just fucked for a little while. You know, I fucked him on top. He flipped me over, fucked me from behind. You know, we had this whole sexual interchange of just exploring each other's bodies and all the sensations and the feelings. And I have to tell you, he never went limp.
Yeah.
I just kept
Oh, it's so
coming
hot.
and coming and coming.
Okay,
and
you're getting
he
me excited,
came
girl. This is a hot
and
story. Oh my
it
goodness.
was
Yeah.
just so fucking
Wow.
amazing to the point that we had to catch our breath. So we took a little bit of a break, a breather in between. And when we stopped, I got up off of him, grabbed his hand, and walked him into the bedroom.
What? Where your
It-
spouse
where
is
my
at?
spouse
Oh my gosh.
was.
Oh wow.
And he followed, and we fucked there
Oh wow.
several more
my
times.
gosh.
I mean, it was just, it was
Wow.
amazing. And then all three of us ended up falling asleep in the same bed together.
Oh, wow.
I had a man on either side of me, and I was in the middle. And
Yeah.
right before we started dozing off, I could tell he was getting sleepy. I just leaned over and I said, it's totally okay if you get more swelling during the night. I said,
Yeah.
I'm comfortable enough with you. Just curl up
A
next
little-
to me,
oh.
slide up behind me. I said, I'll be good. I'm used to having sex in the middle of the night, half asleep.
Little free use happening there, huh? That's what we
And-
got. Yeah.
Well, you could say that. I mean,
You're
if
just
you
like,
want to classify
if you want to
it
tap
that
it, honey,
way.
you just tap away.
Oh, yeah, because I was like, I am still fucking horny.
Yeah.
And if you've got a hard
yeah.
on to be
Oh.
used, I fucking
Yeah.
want it.
No, I get it.
I want
get it.
every moment of
Yeah,
it because I knew
yeah.
he was going home too.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see him that often. So
Oh,
it was
yeah.
kind of like in between. We fucked that whole weekend.
That sounds like a party.
I'd take care of one boy and then turn around and take care of the
Oh,
other
my
one and then
goodness.
turn back around and take care of
Ruby.
the other one.
Oh, Ruby.
Until they were just taken care of or we got hungry.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the only
Oh my
time we
God.
ever stopped was to eat.
That sounds like an amazing ladies' weekend. Do you know what I mean?
It
That's just-
was
wow.
awesome.
Oh my God.
It is probably,
I bet the boys had fun too.
well, they didn't complain.
Oh my God. Wow.
And
yeah.
I would always go in and I'm a foodie, so sex and then food, a
Yeah.
good meal,
Oh,
that's like
Spoiled,
fucking right up
spoiled.
my alley.
All these boys are spoiled.
Oh
my
it
goodness.
was amazing and it was
Yeah.
worth every moment of it.
Oh,
So when he went home, I was honestly a little concerned that my spouse
yeah.
might have a head trip afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I'm sure
mean,
you did.
I was like bracing for that backlash of
Yeah.
after the sexual height moment.
Yeah.
Like
right.
the reality would dawn
Right.
on him.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I am so not okay with this. And what really sucked, to be
Yeah.
honest with you,
Yeah.
I was more concerned that I wasn't going to get a good fuck from him again.
Who?
from
The
his
best
friend.
His friend. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Again,
You were-
because
It was
my
that much fun.
spouse, oh, fuck yeah, still to this day, one
Yeah.
of my top 5 fucks.
Oh.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's low key. He's just a good fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love, and he does it just right.
right.
I mean, he's got that gentle
yeah.
hand, but it's firm.
yeah. Yeah.
And he knows all the right angles to position you. so that he gets
yeah.
all the right spots.
Oh, I totally hear you, girl.
You
I
know,
totally hear you.
it's just, it's one of those that you're like, no, I'll take that
Yes.
again, please. Can I have 2 or 3 helpings? Or maybe I'll just take as many helpings as I can get, please.
Yeah, yeah, you do when they're good like that.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
like, okay,
You
just take it when you want it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you take as much of it
Yeah.
as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So, I was glad my spouse really didn't have too much of a hang up afterwards. He was like, no, I think it's beautiful and it's amazing. And
Oh, wow.
this
What
is
a-
awesome. And I'm so happy you guys finally got to do it.
Yeah.
That the planets aligned or whatever you want to call
wow.
it.
So he was really
that
happy.
it just connected up.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall,
Yeah,
I think
everybody's
he
happy.
was really
Yeah.
happy.
That's a 3-way win. honey.
Oh,
my
that's
goodness.
a total.
Yeah.
When do you get those
I don't know.
options?
That sounds like a beautiful experience.
Because I've
Yeah.
dated other people
Yeah.
in, longer term relationships,
Of
like
course,
a year
of
or
course,
6
right.
months. Had friends of theirs that wanted to fuck me, or I had an interest in fucking them, and it totally was not okay
Yeah.
under any
Yeah. Been there too.
situation.
Yeah.
And for me, in some ways, I get it. I respect
Oh,
it.
yeah,
I
of
always
course.
respect
Yeah.
it. Because not everybody's kosher
Oh,
with
no,
it.
no.
But for me personally, I think it's kind of fucking hot and a turn on when a partner is so comfortable
Yeah.
at that they don't have any issues with it. Like they
Yeah.
know you're theirs.
Yeah.
You're going to come home to them, and there is something incredibly stimulating and hot about that.
Oh, yeah.
That is a whole nother dynamic to sexual interactions that I almost don't have the words to explain the
Yeah.
feeling it brings.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
that's why I always wonder. I'm like, okay, so is your SO, are they totally cool with you fucking their friends? And are
Yeah.
you cool with them fucking your friends?
Yeah.
Because it goes both ways. I
Oh,
mean,
God,
don't get
yes.
me wrong.
Yeah.
If I partake in my partner's
Yeah.
friend, then my friends are fair game.
It's fair game. Yeah.
Although I have had some friends, I'm like, oh, no, that hoe's off limits. That's not gonna work. Like, I know her.
Oh, goodness.
And I know who
Oh,
she's been
gosh.
fucking.
Yeah.
And no. You don't even want to go down
Yeah.
that road with her. She can be a head trip about it. But overall, I'm like, yeah, it's fair game. What's good
Yeah.
for the goose, so to speak, is
Yeah.
good for the gander.
Yeah. Well, that makes for some amazing experiences, I'm sure.
Oh, honestly, I just see it as,
Yeah.
ooh, I get to open more surprises. Okay,
Yeah.
let's test this one. Let's try this one out.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And, sometimes they're good and sometimes they're just, okay, it was a great experience to have.
Right.
Others, like this one guy, like I could have dated him seriously,
Yeah.
like consistently. And we tried for a little bit. But he lived in a whole nother city, and that long distance relationship thing
That's so hard.
just really didn't work
Yeah.
for either of us necessarily. Because we were sitting there desiring each other, wanting to have the experience again, but our schedules just never matched up, and it didn't work.
It's hard to get it all lined up, and you get all excited, and it's just hard.
Yeah.
Long distance relationships like that are very, very tricky. I try to stay away from them, honestly, because they frustrate me. I just get frustrated. It's like, oh no, you're too far. I want to find somebody closer to, be able to have that connectivity with more regularly, especially if you like each other. Oh my God, it's just torture if you're too far apart.
Oh, but sometimes that distance
Yeah.
makes it even better.
Well, it definitely has a
You
build-up.
know.
I know. I totally get that. Totally get that.
So would you be okay with your SO
Yeah.
fucking your friends? Or vice versa? I always want to know
that's
people.
that is such an interesting question. I think there's some of my friends that I would be cool with it, and some of them I wouldn't. I think that's
Oh,
probably
so you're selective?
I'm selective. Yeah, I think it would be
wow.
like, that I'm kind of selective
But
about
isn't
it.
that kind of like going to a restaurant, reading the whole menu, and the first 3 items you pick, they ran out of? I mean, isn't that kind
I
of
don't
like
know,
a
honey.
letdown?
I don't know. It's just the way I've interpreted it. And I'm not saying I couldn't be open minded, if this situation prevailed. But gosh, goodness, I mean, if there was some certain ones, I'm like, oh, honey, no, no, no. I think it's no different than you were like, hey, no, that girl's a hoe.
Well, no,
But
it's just, it's more of the aspect of, for me with that particular girlfriend, I was like, I love her to death.
Oh, I
but
know.
she's a bit crazy.
But she's a bit crazy.
And
yeah.
she knows
we all have
it.
one, right?
And I just really wouldn't recommend like hooking up with her in that way, because I'm not sure she can appropriate it.
Right.
Not because I had an issue with them fucking her.
Yeah.
It was just,
Well, now,
I don't know if you want to get into that mess
but
kind of situation.
The thing for me would be some of my friends, it would be like, that I would like kind of want to veto it with my partner about having sex with them, because I think it would change it for me, just the way my friendships with them. It's like, I just don't see him that way, and so it would put it into a different context.
Well,
I was just like, whoa.
I was going to ask, is it because...
And I love them to death, but it's like, I just don't want to, I don't see them in a sexual, contextual way. And if I knew my partner hooked up with them, I would be thinking about him sexually now. And I didn't want to think about him sexually.
But if you weren't a part of the interchange, what difference does it make?
Well, here's the thing what happens with me. When my partner has sex with somebody, I have fantasies about those other people, no matter who they are. And so it just happens. I don't like do it on purpose. I can't stop my mind from doing it.
Well, then that makes me wonder,
gosh,
is your partner having sex with your friends, is it okay because it's more of a turn on for you with the fantasy, or
what, with certain friends? I mean,
or
yes.
is it because you actually are open to and comfortable enough to open the space for your partner to have that?
Well, I think it's both. I think I definitely get turned on seeing my partner and knowing my partner has been with somebody. And I always want to know, like, hey, who are they? I want to know who that person is. I at least want to be able to see a picture of them, and hopefully meet them. I really like meeting them so I can really get to feel the personality out. And because I know myself.
If it's your friend, you already know them.
Well, no, right. If it was my friend, true. But I'm just meaning in general. If my partner hooks up with anybody, I'd like to know those people. Because here's the same reason it happens. It doesn't matter if it's a friend or a total stranger that, I don't know. My mind goes there. And whatever, if I didn't like that person, it'd be weird for me too.
So you're really saying that
going back to the friend situation.
So you're really saying that you just have a dirty mind, and so you're concerned about
I don't want it to run away with itself.
The quality of who your partner's fucking.
Yes.
Oh, that's so bad. So it really is about your get off.
Well, the first part is. The second part is his get off, and him and given the freedom to actually have that and do that. And I think that's amazing to have that freedom and that kind of trust and just wanting your partner to enjoy themselves. It's like it's like an act of love kind of situation. And I love that. It's like a bonding thing for me. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess I'm trying to narrate those dirty thoughts that are going to happen regardless. Definitely don't want to think about like one of my girlfriends that I'm like, I don't think sexually about them at all. I never have. And I don't ever want to have sexual thoughts about them because I like what we have. You know what I'm saying? So I do not want my partner, my spouse. No, she's off limits. She's off limits because I don't need to be thinking about the two of you sexually and then get stimulated because we're not going to do that. And I don't want to cross a line because then I won't be able to control myself.
I don't have like that effect with it. Like my mind doesn't run away with it.
Mine does, yeah.
Unless it's somebody that I actually have like an attraction to as well.
Yeah.
Because some of my friends I do, and some of them I don't. Yeah. I recognize their beauty or their, handsomeness.
Yeah.
And you can't help yourself, even if you don't have that type of sexual interest in them.
Right.
You appreciate the beauty that they have, whatever it is, and the mystique. So I don't care really for the most part, like I said, unless it's somebody that I know just psychologically can't handle that kind of dynamic.
Right.
I don't care if my partner sleeps with
Well,
them
you don't
or
have
not.
that condition, I got.
No. All I care is that my partner
goodness.
comes back home
Yeah.
at the end of the
Yeah.
night and they're with me.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
way or the other.
Yeah.
That they always come back home. I don't care. Go out, explore, whatever. Have
Yeah.
that communication with me.
Wow.
Just come home.
That's a lot of freedom.
You know,
Lot
it's
of
like,
freedom.
hey, you're your own person. You're autonomous. Even though we're together, that doesn't mean you sacrifice your individuality and your own growth and
Yeah.
desires to be in that relationship. But I want that open communication for
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
And
I love the
don't
open
get me wrong,
communication.
I had told my spouse
Mm-hmm.
for years, like
Yeah.
that I had an interest
wow.
in their friend.
Yeah.
I mean, even just saw a picture of
So
him.
he had years to build up his own
initially.
fantasies,
Yeah.
I guess. That's what he did. I bet.
Initially, I'd only seen
Yeah.
a photo of his friend.
Yeah.
And I knew then I was going to fuck him. So then when we flew
boy.
into his hometown,
Yeah.
his state, and I saw him for the first time, it was fucking over.
Oh my goodness.
I took everything I had not to show
Yeah.
how flustered I was because his friend showed up with his girlfriend
Oh wow.
to come pick us up at the
Wow.
airport.
Yeah.
And I didn't know these people.
Yeah.
I'd never met him. And I was like, oh shit, he's got a girlfriend. Well, I guess that's out the fucking window. I guess I'm going to have to wait. And his girlfriend was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, she was gorgeous.
Well, it sounds like she must have been to be with such an
Naturally.
amazing man because he sounds amazing.
Well, what was funny,
Yeah.
kind of funny was, you know, she and I really hit it off.
Yeah.
And I had never been with a girl at that point in life.
Oh wow.
I had never been with a woman, and we talked about it. And she was like, well, if you have, you know, curiosity, she goes, I'm game while you guys are here if you're comfortable.
Oh, wow.
And then we both turned to the people we were seeing, the two guys, and was
Oh,
like,
wow.
hey, is that even okay with you guys? They got all flustered and nervous. And she was like,
yeah.
hey, if you want to explore, you know,
Yeah.
I'm available. I'm like,
Oh my god.
everything in my body so wanted to, but I was
Yeah.
getting such mixed signals from the
Oh.
guys
Your life sounds like a porno.
that,
It's just,
well, it kind of is.
oh my god, it's crazy.
It kind of has
Yeah.
been from time to time. That I didn't act
Yeah.
on it is the one time I really wished I'd had enough balls and courage to actually take her up on it, no matter how nervous the guys were.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted a one-on-one experience with her, and I didn't want it to be like putting on a show for the
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I genuinely wanted to have a type of experience. And I also kind of got the inclination that
Yeah.
it was going to be two guys sitting around in the room watching these two girls. And I was like, this is just
Yeah.
a
Oh my
little
goodness.
creepy to me for my first experience. Like,
yeah.
I wanted to be really comfortable.
Yeah.
So I didn't, but she was just, I mean, she smelled good. She was soft. She had this beautiful long hair.
Yeah.
She was really nicely fit.
I can already see another podcast coming, right? Because I want to know. I want to know more about your first lady experiences, and
Oh,
that would
shit.
be on another podcast.
Those are fucking wild.
Yeah.
Those experiences are just wild. So, you know, I ask people when I meet them sometimes, like in conversation after we kind of get to know each other, I'm like, would you be okay with your partner
Yeah.
having sex with your friends?
Yeah.
And or have you ever wanted to have sex with one of your partner's friends?
Yeah.
And did you?
Yeah.
Like, I really want to know. And I'd love to know from listeners. Like, tell me your
too.
stories.
Me too.
Message us, email, you know, write it in the comments if you can too.
Yeah.
However, but I really want to know how many listeners have had similar thoughts and wants and desires. And are you okay with it?
Yeah.
Like, has it ever worked out?
Yeah.
Anyway, is it okay to fuck your partner's friends?
What a great topic.
It will forever be imprinted in my mind.
Mine
how
too now.
amazing that experience
Mine
was.
too. I loved your story. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you all joined us today. We are going to have more salacious stories, so much more. Like you said, my life's a bit of a porno. So
Indeed,
I
it
have
is.
got a lot of fodder for your dirty little minds. If you want to show us some love, donate at rubydaytv.com, the home of all my exclusives. And don't forget to leave the show a rating or a review.